मेरे प्यारे बच्चों को अंडे में से निकलने का समय हो गया है। तब तक चलती हूँ अपने बच्चों के लिए खाना लाने। बच्चों आराम करो अंडे के अंदर, मैं तुम तीनों के लिए खाना लाने जा रही हूँ।
ओहो, वो तोता चला गया अपना घोंसला छोड़कर। अब मजा आएगा, एकदम ताजा ताजा अंडे खाने को मिलेगा। मेरे मुंह में तो अभी से पानी आ रहा है। अब चलता हूँ चुपके से और उस चिड़िया के अंडे खा जाता हूँ।
अरे बड़ा तेज भूख लग रही है, क्या खाऊं? घर में खाना भी खत्म हो गया है। चिंटू और चिंकी पूरा खाना खा गए हैं। हाँ, चलता हूँ आम तोड़कर खाने। अब पेड़ पर आम खत्म होने ही वाला होगा। चलकर देखता हूँ कि कितने आम बचे हैं पेड़ पर।
अरे दादा, अरे दादा, अरे बाप रे, अभी यहीं तक आते आते हालत खराब हो गई। साला वो तोता कितना ऊपर अपना घोंसला बनाया है। चढ़ते जाओ चढ़ते जाओ ही, चढ़ते जाओ चढ़ते जाओ ही, चढ़ते जाओ चढ़ते जाओ ही।
वो रहा आम का पेड़। अरे लेकिन पेड़ पर तो एक भी आम नहीं दिख रहा। लगता है चिंटू और चिंकिया सब आम खा गए। चलो पास से चलकर देखता हूँ, शायद एक दो आम बचा हो पेड़ पर।
चढ़ते जाओ चढ़ते जाओ ही, चढ़ते जाओ चढ़ते जाओ ही, चढ़ते जाओ चढ़ते जाओ ही। बस अब अंडा दिखने लगा। कुछ बढ़िया खाना है तो मेहनत तो करना ही पड़ेगा। मेरी जान।
मिल गया मिल गया, हाँ मिल गया मिल गया मिल गया, हाँ मिल गया। चलो कम से कम एक आम तो बचा है पेड़ पर। चलता हूँ उसे ही तोड़ने। अरे यार, मैं तो चढ़ भी नहीं पा रहा हूँ। अब क्या करूँ कि पेड़ पर चढ़ जाऊँ? हाँ, चलता हूँ पत्थर चढ़ाकर आम को तोड़ता हूँ।
अरे दादा, अरे दादा, आखिरकार मंजिल तक पहुंच ही गया। अरे इस घोंसले में तो 3-3 अंडे हैं। चलो इतना ऊपर चढ़ने का कुछ फायदा तो मिला। खाने से पहले थोड़ा सूंघ तो लूं। क्या खुशबू है इन अंडों की, मजे लेकर खाऊंगा इन्हें। पहले कौन सा खाऊं? अक्कड़ बक्कड़ बम्बे बोल, 80 90 पूरे 100। हाँ, इसे ही खाऊंगा।
अबे वो आम, अब होगा तेरा काम तमाम। या!
आजा 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 आजा। अरे कौन हरे ससुर के नाती मार दी हलास।
अरे दादा साहब, अरे मैंने तो आम तोड़ा था, तो आम के गिरने के बजाय सांप कहाँ से गिर गया?
अरे दादा, पीठ तूर दी हलास। कितना मुश्किल से पहुंचल रहनी है वहाँ, और ये हरमिया मार के गिरा दी हलास रे दादा।
अरे आम तो वही है पेड़ पर, अब उसे कैसे तोड़ूं? बहुत तेज भूख लगी है।
अरे ससुर के नाती, हम तो के ना छोड़ब रे।
अरे ये सांप तो मेरे ही पीछे पड़ गया। अरे सांप दादा, हमें छोड़ दो ना।
अरे हम तो के ना छोड़ब रे, तो के डस के ही माने।
चिंटू, वो देखो, वो तो हमारा बाबू है। वो दौड़ता हुआ इधर ही आ रहा है। अरे लेकिन इतना तेज वो किससे
की कसम आज तो होके डस के छोड़े ब्रे।
अरे चिंटू, इतना जहरीला सांप बाबू को काटने के लिए क्यों दौड़ा रहा है? मुझसे क्या पूछ रही है? बाबू से पूछ। बाबू, ये सांप तुम्हारे पीछे क्यों पड़ा है? अरे मैं उसे पत्थर से मार दिया था, तभी से ये भिन्नाया हुआ है। क्या?
The night the sirens screamed through the narrow streets, a small boy pressed his face against a cracked window and watched his world begin to burn. He didn't understand why his father grabbed him so tightly, why his mother's name was shouted into the darkness with a voice already breaking, or why the sky itself seemed to split open with fire and fear. All he knew was that his father's arms became a shield, a wall, a promise. Years later, when that boy would stand alone at the edge of a decision that could destroy him, this memory would return like a whisper asking one question: how far can love really go? The boy's name was Ayan, and his father was Ibrahim, a quiet man with rough hands and eyes that carried stories he never told. Ibrahim worked long days repairing machines in a dusty workshop, coming home each evening with grease on his clothes and exhaustion in his bones. He was not a man of many words. He didn't give long speeches or dramatic advice. But every night, no matter how tired he was, he would sit beside Ayan's bed and ask, "Did you eat enough? Did anyone hurt you? Did you learn something new today?" To Ayan, this routine felt ordinary. To Ibrahim, it was sacred. As Ayan grew, the world began testing him. At school, other children mocked his worn shoes and simple lunches. Teachers praised louder voices, sharper minds, children whose parents had money and influence. Ayan learned early that effort did not always bring reward. One afternoon, after being falsely accused of cheating and punished in front of his classmates, he came home furious and humiliated. He threw his bag to the floor and shouted that he hated school, hated everyone, hated being poor. Ibrahim listened without interruption. When the storm passed, he simply said, "You are allowed to be angry, but don't let anger decide who you become." That night, Ibrahim stayed awake repairing an old desk so his son would have a quiet place to study, even though his back ached and his eyes burned. Years slipped by like pages turning too fast. Ayan became a teenager, tall and restless, full of dreams but also doubts. He wanted more than his father's small life, more than the narrow streets and the constant struggle. He wanted success, respect, escape. When he received a scholarship offer that could take him far away, excitement clashed with guilt. His mother had passed away years earlier, leaving Ibrahim and Ayan bound together by shared silence and unspoken fear of loss. Ayan worried about leaving his father alone. Ibrahim, sensing this, smiled and said, "A bird is not meant to stay in the nest forever. If you stay for me, I will feel like I failed you." College life was louder, brighter, crueler. Ayan felt small among confident peers who spoke fluent ambition. He struggled with grades, with loneliness, with the shame of asking for help. Phone calls with his father became shorter. "I'm fine," Ayan would say, even when he wasn't. Ibrahim always answered the same way, "I know. And even if you're not, I'm still here." When money ran short, Ibrahim quietly sold his old watch, the last gift from his own father, to send a little extra. He never mentioned it. The first real fall came when Ayan failed an important exam. Panic swallowed him. His scholarship was at risk. Fear turned into bad choices. He began spending time with people who promised quick solutions, shortcuts, schemes, easy money. When he was caught and expelled for being involved in academic fraud, his world collapsed. Shame wrapped around him like chains. He didn't call his father. He couldn't bear to hear disappointment in that calm voice. Weeks passed. Then one evening, as rain hammered the city streets, Ayan heard a knock at his door. When he opened it, he saw Ibrahim standing there, soaked, thinner, older than he remembered. Ayan broke down instantly, confessing everything through sobs. He waited for anger, for rejection, for the final proof that he had ruined everything. Instead, Ibrahim pulled him into an embrace and said, "You are my son before you are anything else. Nothing you do can change that." In that moment, Ayan felt something inside him shatter, not from pain, but from relief. They returned home together. The neighbors whispered. Relatives judged. Opportunities seemed closed. Ayan sank into despair, convinced his future was finished. Ibrahim woke him every morning before dawn, asking him to help at the workshop. They worked side by side, sweat mixing with silence. Slowly, Ibrahim began telling stories about his own failures, about dreams he had buried, about mistakes that had almost destroyed him. "I didn't protect you from falling," he said one morning, "because falling teaches lessons comfort never can." Ayan began studying again at night, using borrowed books, watching free lectures, teaching himself with a hunger he'd never known. Months turned into years. He applied again, this time honestly, humbly, ready to accept rejection. When acceptance finally came from a different institution, Ayan ran to the workshop waving the letter like a flag. Ibrahim read it slowly, his hands trembling. He didn't cheer. He didn't cry. He just closed his eyes and whispered, "Thank you." As if speaking to God, time moved forward relentlessly. Ayan graduated, struggled, failed again, and tried again. He built a career not on shortcuts, but persistence. Through every setback, his father remained a quiet constant, sometimes nearby, sometimes just a voice on the phone, always present. When Ibrahim grew ill, Ayan rushed back, guilt flooding him for the years spent chasing success. Ibrahim smiled weakly and said, "You came back. That's enough." On the final night, as machines beeped softly in the hospital room, Ibrahim held Ayan's hand and said, "One day, you will be a father too, maybe not to a child, but to someone who needs you. When that day comes, love them without conditions. Love them when they fail, especially then." Those were his last words. After the funeral, Ayan stood alone, feeling like that small boy at the window again. But this time, the fire was behind him, not ahead. Years later, when Ayan became a mentor to troubled youth, when he chose patience over judgment, compassion over pride, he understood what his father had given him. Not money, not status, but a love so steady, so forgiving, that it became a compass for life. And if you listen closely, in moments when you feel most unworthy, you might hear a voice like Ibrahim's, calm and certain, reminding you that real love does not ask what you have achieved. It only asks one thing: are you still trying?